Welcome back to the farm. My name's Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and you'll find me here each week talking about my farming and creative life. I do talk about the weather a lot, but it seems to kind of affect everything that I end up doing around here. So here I go again with a little bit of weather conversation first. Um, this past week or so has started to really feel a bit more like autumn already. Much cooler evenings, cool mornings. There is dew and moisture on the ground, and the days are not getting quite so hot. And that humidity has not come back, thank goodness. Of course, we're still only in February, so there is plenty of time for there still to be some heat, but it does kind of feel like the seasons are shifting a little bit. And the days are getting shorter. There is less sunlight at the end of the day. So the evening chores are creeping ever so slightly earlier each night, um, just so that everything is done before it gets too dark. We've got another day of blackberry spraying in. This time it was in the afternoon because the day wasn't quite as hot. So it wasn't an early start, which was kind of nice. We got out into the dam paddock this time. The sections in that paddock are a little more sparse. We'd already done quite a bit of work in there and there wasn't that much to begin with. But there were a few kind of large sections near the dam wall, so we had to sort of take care of that. So what we did is we drove into the paddock, found an area where there was quite a little bit of blackberry, pulled the hoses out and sprayed as much as we could reach. And then we jumped back in to the Hilux and we drove a bit further and did the same thing again. We didn't get the whole paddock done because that does take a bit longer than just staying in one spot and doing quite an intensive spray. But we were able to get quite a large section done. But now we have had to return the rig, unfortunately. Someone else needed it, but we did get it for what, 2.5, 3 weeks. So we did certainly make the most of having it. And there is a possibility that before the end of the season, we will be able to get it back again. And if we do, I think we will end up focusing back into the bush where we found some quite thick areas that we hadn't got to. And we will try and get another chunk of that done so that next year we have even less that we need to tackle. My passion fruit vine is growing so well at the moment, and I have quite a lot of fruit hanging off it, and a few of them have become ripe. It is my favorite fruit. Part of the reason why I named my business and my channel Passion Flower, and I have been treating myself with some passion fruit on my cereal and yogurt in the morning, and also some ice cream in the evening. There are a few more ripening up on the vine. I just have to watch and sort of kind of keep an eye on where they are because the entrance to my place is on a ramp and they can drop and then roll. So I have to kind of know where they are and then watch each day to just double check that none of them have fallen so I can make sure that I collect all of the fruit. And I was sitting out with the lambs the other day and I realized that Vito and Evie are already 6 months old, and Hurley will be 6 months old next month. And that just really blew my mind. I mean, they're so big now. It's crazy to think how small they were when I first got Vito and Evie and how tiny Hurley was. I still call them my babies, of course, but they are so big and doing really well. And it's become part of my everyday routine to check in on them and to look after them. And it seems crazy that before September last year, I didn't have any sheep. Another week with quite a lot of dyeing going on here in the shed, which I really love. They're the weeks that really inspire me and make me happy. I do enjoy the business side as well, but the reason that I started it all was to play with yarn and colour, and so that is what really brings me joy. So I've been stocking up on some popular colourways this week, part of my flower series, to replenish the full skeins and also to add some more of the bright and light mini skein sets that I recently launched. Sorry for the crinkling, it's going to make a little bit of noise. So this is the light set. And this is the bright set. And they'd already sold quite well, so I had to make sure that I restocked the mini skeins so that there were some more available. So I dyed up some nasturtium this week, the bright orange. I also did some wattle, which is bright yellow with a bluey green. And I posted some reels on this during the week on my Instagram. So if you want to see behind the scenes dyeing, that's the best place to check that out. I will also share some of it here, but I've been putting it onto Instagram. And with this colorway, it starts off blue and ends up yellow and green, which I really find fun, the way to mix the colors to get the result that I want. And this one I also did, which is wildflowers. So that was my dyeing this week. These now need to be reskeined and labelled and broken down into the minis. I didn't do a lot of my own projects knitting wise this week. I did finish the shorty socks I was working on with the kelp and then the different colour at the top that I don't really know what it is. So yeah, I decided to make these ones quite short because I was done with them, and I said that when I was finished with these, I was going to use those needles to cast on sample squares, and that's what I primarily worked on knitting wise this week. So I've got quite a few sample squares to show you. I did a square of Orchids Deck the Treetops. What else? Grey Clouds Gather. Rainbow Gold. And I'm now working on a mint slice. So I did do a lot of knitting, as you can see, but none of my current projects. There was absolutely no work on anything else apart from these. I still have in here some Just Peachy that I want to do a sample for, and also I have a tiny little bit of Choc Berry, but I also have a little cuff that I made, so I'm probably going to use both of these to make a sample of that as well. While I'm on a roll, I'll probably continue to do these so that I can tick off those colorways on my list. And now I just need to photograph the ones that I've done as well. And it's a grey morning here, so once I've done here, I might just quickly pin these out and get these photographed as well. So that's been really productive week craft-wise, without actually doing any work on any current project. I did, however, do something else really crafty, and it's nice to do something new and different, something that generates the creative juices. This was a macrame class by Mel from Miko Macrame. I'll put a link to her details below. And we booked her to come to our house with a group of friends. We had brunch, and she taught us a macrame rainbow class, which was so much fun. So before the class, we got to choose our colors, and it was really interesting because as a group, we're a group of friends who are quite different, and we kind of had each chosen a color that one of the other people had, and there were lots of colors to choose from, but they all kind of linked together somehow. So it was really nice when you saw all of them. She set up these frames and had the cords hanging from it, and she showed us how to anchor and attach that, and she also showed us how to do a square knot to make lengths of macrame. So there was a short one, and they just kept getting longer and longer. And so we did those knots, and then she showed us how to create the rainbow. Now this is my version. So I have Dijon, guava, amethyst, and mallard are my colors. And I think it came out really beautiful. Mine is quite tight. I was really, I guess my gauge was quite tight. Some of the others were much more squishy and loose than mine, but they all just came out looking so fabulous. Um, and with this fringe, it's brushed and then straightened with a hair straightener, and then it's got hairspray in it, so it stays nice and square and flat. Um, yeah, it was just so much fun to try something different and to create something so pretty and happy. So now I've got this hanging in my room, and it brings me joy every time I see it because it reminds me of spending that time with my friends, and also rainbows make you happy. And I just love my color choices as well. So all of those things combined, it was a really lovely day and fun to try something new. Um, I am not sure that I'm going to be a macrame person, but just having learnt that skill, I think that there's ways that it could be incorporated into other crafting, which is something fun to think about and could end up being a use for some of my scraps of yarn. So when we started out, we were all a little bit apprehensive. It looked quite hard and we didn't think that we were going to be able to do it. But after the first few attempts at the knot, we all kind of got it, and we were able to chat and do the work at the same time. Um, so yeah, it was a really fun class, and I highly recommend it. Well, that's it for another week. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you're enjoying these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and look forward to seeing you next week on the farm. Bye.